Hey everyone, and welcome. Today, we're going to talk about something that is absolutely crucial for any researcher out there. How do you actually navigate this super complex world of open access publishing and find the perfect, most reputable home for all your hard work?
So, picture this. You've poured months, maybe even years, into your research. It's finally done. It's ready for the world. But let me ask you a really important question. Is it safe? Because where you choose to publish, well, that matters a whole lot more than you might think.
Here's the thing. The academic world, unfortunately, is kind of filled with pitfalls, and one of the biggest ones is the predatory journal. These are basically scammers, disreputable publishers that totally exploit the pressure we all feel to publish. And trust me, falling for one of their traps can seriously damage your credibility and your career.
So, to get through this safely, we first have to understand what we're up against. Let's start by mapping out the terrain, what I'm calling the publishing minefield. We'll look at the real risks that researchers are facing today.
You know the saying, right? Publish or perish. The pressure is just immense to get your work out there. And that intense environment? That's the exact thing these scammers prey on. Making a wrong turn here isn't just a small mistake. It can be incredibly costly to your professional reputation.
But okay, don't worry, it's not all doom and gloom. Which brings us to our next section, your journal shopping guide. We are going to build a reliable, solid framework to help you search with total confidence.
To make this whole process a lot simpler, let's use an analogy. Think about choosing a journal like you're buying a certified pre-owned car. You wouldn't just glance at the shiny paint job and say, "I'll take it," right? Of course not. You'd check the vehicle's history, you'd inspect under the hood, you'd verify its certification. We're going to apply that exact same logic to finding a journal.
The most important thing is to be systematic. First, just cast a wide net. Create a list of, say, 10 to 20 potential journals in your field. Then, start narrowing it down. Ask yourself, does this journal's scope and audience actually fit my paper? And finally, do a little reality check. Skim through the last 6 to 12 months of issues. If you spot 3 or 4 papers that feel like they could be cousins to your own work, you are probably in the right neighborhood.
All right, so you've got your shortlist. Now it's time for the technical inspection. This is where we really pop the hood on a journal and check all of its core components to make sure it's legit.
First thing you're looking for is the ISSN. That's the International Standard Serial Number. Every single legitimate journal has one. Just think of it as the journal's VIN, its vehicle identification number. It's a basic fundamental proof of identity.
Next up, you want to see DOIs, or Digital Object Identifiers. Every individual article should have one. This is basically a permanent link that makes sure your work can always be found online. In our car analogy, DOIs are like proof that all the major parts in the car are properly registered and traceable.
Okay, let's put this all together into a really simple 4-point check. Number 1, take that ISSN you found and actually verify it on the official ISSN portal online. 2, make sure the articles have DOIs from a trusted registrar like Crossref. 3, just browse their archives. Is there a consistent history of quality publications? And 4, this one's the big one, search for the journal in the directory of open access journals.
Now that last step is so important. Why? Because getting listed in the DOAJ is not easy. They have a really strict vetting process for ethical and editorial standards. So seeing a journal listed in the DOAJ, that's like getting that official certified stamp on our pre-owned car. It's a huge sign of quality and trustworthiness.
Okay, we've checked the car's specs. Now for Section 4, checking the editorial team. Or to stick with our analogy, we're going to go verify that the mechanics are actually certified professionals.
A journal is really only as good as its editors. So you've got to investigate the editorial board. Are these credible, well-known people in your field? Do they have clear professional affiliations listed? But you've got to be careful because here is a massive red flag. Some predatory journals will literally harvest the names of respected academics and just stick them on their website as editors without even asking. A quick Google search can usually tell you if an editor is for real associated with that journal.
And as you're digging around, just keep an eye out for any promises that sound way too good to be true. If you see a claim like this, guaranteed acceptance in 7 days. I mean, come on. You should run, not walk, away from that journal.
Because here's the reality check. A proper, rigorous, legitimate peer review process takes time. It just does. You should expect it to take at least a month and honestly, often much longer. Anything that's way faster than that is a huge sign that they're cutting corners, and you do not want your research associated with that.
Okay, so you've inspected the car, you've met the mechanics, now it's time for Section 5, reading the fine print. You absolutely do not want to get caught by hidden fees or a terrible contract after you've already committed.
And this table really just lays it all out. A reputable journal is totally transparent about its fees. It lets you, the author, keep your copyright, and it's usually a member of professional organizations like COPE, that's the Committee on Publication Ethics, or OASPA. Predatory journals, they do the exact opposite. Their fees are hidden or confusing, they often demand you sign away your copyright, and they don't belong to any of these professional groups.
If you only remember one thing about the fine print, please make it this. The single biggest red flag is a journal that calls itself open access, but then demands that you transfer your copyright over to them. That is a fundamental contradiction. The whole point of true open access is sharing knowledge while you retain ownership of your own work.
We are in the home stretch now. You have done all the hard work, which means it's time for our final section, making your final choice. It's time to drive your manuscript home.
So, here are your last few steps. Take that short list of vetted, trustworthy journals and rank them. What's most important to you right now? Is it speed, cost, or perceived quality? Then, format your manuscript perfectly for your #1 choice to avoid that dreaded instant desk rejection. And always have your second and third choices prepped and ready to go just in case.
And that's pretty much it. You've gone from this massive, confusing marketplace to a small, manageable list of certified, trustworthy options. You have done the full inspection. You now have all the tools you need to make a really confident, informed decision for your research.
You know, at the end of the day, your research represents an incredible amount of effort and passion. It deserves a fantastic home, a place where it's going to be valued, respected, and actually seen. So the final question is, after all this work, where are you going to park it?